Hello guys and welcome to a new stream. We just had a new announcement come out. The new and changed Warcries and Path of Exile Harvest. So let's go ahead and get started on reading through it, okay? This is in Path of Exile Harvest. We've added 4 new Warcry skills, 1 new support and 1 reworking 3 existing ones. We've generally improved the option available for those who want to utilize Warcries in their builds. Today's news post reveals new skills and what to expect in terms of changes. Changes to Warcry skills. Some time ago we decided that it would be good to do a balance pass that focused on two-handed weapons and the slower but stronger playstyle. While we were exploring how best to achieve this, it became clear that giving Warcry skills some long overdue improvements could be of great help. Our first step in doing this was to define ourselves what a Warcry should be and what function it fulfills. We found that Warcries should 1. Release a shockwave that taunts enemies, 2. Apply either a buff or a debuff where its power is based on nearby enemies, and 3. Exert or power up your next few attacks with special properties. And yeah, I agree with that. I think every one of those 3 should be in a Warcry. Because the whole point of a Warcry is to basically make that enemy weaker in some way, right? So if it can power up the next few attacks, it allows that Warcry to be even more powerful. So let's continue. It says these rules can be flexible, but provide a base starting point of what Warcries should look like within the new system. We started by reworking existing core Warcries to fit into this set of rules, and as we made new ones to fulfill any gaps we felt were present. We also changed the mechanics of nearby enemies to care about the power of these enemies. In the old system, 5 small monsters would provide 5 times the Warcry benefits compared to a single unique boss. This felt wrong. The new system now counts magic, rare, and unique monster proportionate to their power so that your Warcry scales more effectively with the content you're facing. Currently this works by counting normal monsters as 1, magic monsters as 2, and rare as 10, and unique as 20. Holy crap. That's a big damage increase. That's a really big damage increase. Enduring Cry received a relatively minimal rework, but we wanted to see if we could improve various aspects of this skill while we were reworking others. It still generates endurance charges based on the power of nearby enemies, good, but also provides a short burst of very powerful healing. Also temporarily gives you additional resistances and physical damage reduction for a short duration. Sounds like Purity of Elements with a health regen. That's pretty sweet. Unlike other Warcries, Enduring Cry does not exert your next few attacks. It benefits purely defensive. So a defensive one. Okay, good. Intimidating Cry. Previously, Intimidating Cry was only obtainable through a unique item. In addition to it now being available as a skilled gem, it has undergone a full rework to be a lot more punchy and exciting. Its benefits are purely offensive. We have a purely defensive and a purely offensive right now. Its benefits, it achieves this by intimidating nearby enemies and is exerting your next few attacks to deal double damage. It also provides a buff that lets you ignore some of your enemy's physical damage reduction based on nearby enemy power. Note will reveal that number of the exerting attacks which Warcry creates closer to launch. So it's double damage plus reduction. So it's more than double damage. Intended to be the offensive counterpart to Enduring Cry, it should work in a wide variety of builds to make your next few attacks feel really powerful. How many attacks though? That's what we're waiting for, and they'll, you know, explain that in the when it says they're going to reveal. So we'll have to wait. Ancestral Cry. This is a new Warcry which was designed to work well specifically with strike skills. Magma. It causes your next few strikes to also target nearby enemies, similar to the Ancestral Call support. It also provides a buff based on the power of nearby enemies, which both increases your melee range as well as providing bonus armor. It's intended to be a well-rounded Warcry that generally provides benefits to anybody interested in playing strike skill. SEISMIC Cry. I think this is going to be the one that a lot of people are going to run. We've created a new category of skill known as Slam Skills and wanted to make a Warcry synergize with these skills. It causes your next few slam skills to have an increased area of effect and more damage, which both increase and with each attack until you reset the Warcry or your exerted attacks run out. Interesting. It knocks enemies back and interrupts them when it taunts them. Then grants you a buff based on nearby enemy power, which reduces enemy stun, making it easier to stun enemies within your hits. And I think that is talking about up here, where normal monsters are 1, magic monsters are 2, rare is 10, and unique is 20. I think that's what it's talking about with when it's talking about how much bonus it's gonna give the nearby enemy power. Rallying Cry. Rallying Cry has been reworked and given a new identity. It has traditionally worked well with support style builds, and we designed it to provide a new way to support allies. It causes nearby allies to gain a buff that grants them a percentage of your main hand weapons damage based on the power of nearby enemies. It also exerts your next few attacks to deal more damage based on how many allies you have near you. Unlike most other Warcries, the power of the buff comes from both the power of both nearby enemies and allies. This is a rework to your existing skill to give it a new identity. This obviously seemed to fit a very supportive type of role, but we wanted to do a new way of support allies. It works well with minions or with support a full party of allies. I was thinking about that. I was like, well, this would work perfect with like a minion build or a skelly build where you have a ton of skeletons or a ton of minions doing a ton of damage. You do a rallying cry and you basically are, as it says, your next few attacks deal more damage based on how many allies you have near you. And it also takes your main hand weapons damage based on power of nearby enemies. So you get increased damage from your weapon, increased damage from the enemies nearby, and increased damage for how many allies you have next to you. If you're running a minion build and you have 8 minions, plus you have 9 skeletons, you now have 15 allies, plus you have your animate guardian, which is 1, and your specters, so it's another 3. You have almost 20 allies next to you. And then if you also add on, I don't know, another skill that adds more allies on there, there's Herald, there's a Herald skill that adds 4 more allies on there. This Rallying Cry could be a new minion build buff. That could be a huge bonus. Makes the clocks turn. Alright, Infernal Cry. This was previously known as Abyssal Cry and has received a full rework. We aimed to keep its old features while providing some new exciting ones to refresh its appeal. It covers enemies in Ash, a debuff that scales with power of nearby enemies. It also causes enemies that are affected by this debuff to explode with fire damage when they are slain. Well, you don't need the chest piece anymore. Everything will explode. It also exerts your next few attacks to trigger Combust when hitting an enemy. Combust is a triggered area of effect attack skill granted by Infernal Cry gem. It scales with attack damage modifiers and can benefit from your supports. So it's an a triggerable skill that allows you to explode. Interesting. General Cry. This is an intense new war cry that has been designed to be very open-ended in how it can be used. It's a skill support hybrid which melee attack skills can be linked to. This war cry summons ghostly mirage warriors from corpses near you. These ghosts use one of the linked skills once before dissipating. The number of warriors you summon is based on the total power of nearby enemies as well as the power of nearby corpses. General Cry lets you summon your own legion of warriors to destroy your enemy using a large selection of skills. Okay, so you could use General Cry, Rallying Cry on a minion build. Have like 30 or 40 minions and just deal a ton of damage. Alright. So Rally Cry, General Cry on a Cyclone Spinner. Maybe? Or on a cast when spell is used. That would be interesting. Alright, let's take a look at this this video here and then we'll continue on. Let's make this better quality here. Here's Rallying Cry. This one improves your damage by depending on how many allies are by, your attack damage, and the damage of mountains nearby. Ancestral Cry is the exploding one. Enemies explode. And there's the two minions that dropped. A lot of AoE. Okay. In addition, we're adding a new support gem that speeds up your war cries in exchange for a slightly longer cooldown. Okay, so increased duration, but no, it speeds up your war cries. Longer cooldown. So like faster casting, but doesn't allow you to cast faster. Okay. We've also added a keystone to the passive tree that makes war cries instant, but cause them to share a cooldown by default. War cries no longer share cooldowns in order to promote builds using multiple war cries. Boom! That's what we were looking for. Alright, so yeah, totally put war cries. You can cast multiple war cries at the same time. Cast on crit builds. I mean, hello war cries with cast on crit. Alright, that's huge. Because it used to share. Now you can cast as many as you want all at the same time. Huh. I can see a cyclone build coming in here. Alright. Well, those are the new war cry changes. It's definitely going to be an interesting league. We got brands and war cries. So we have a dual league where they're changing two major things. That's gonna be a big league. And we have a whole new crafting system. Alright, well, we'll see what the next one's gonna be. Hopefully they will. I have no idea what the next announcement's gonna be. But until then, go ahead and like, subscribe, ding the bell, and post a comment down below if you have any questions. Might be able to help you. If not, I will be learning the same as you. Until next time, peace.